Welcome to the Digital Photography Podcast Video Edition, episode number 12. Tonight I'm going to talk about this cool little product right here. This is something that B&H Photo has actually put together as a kit to buy as one unit, but you could buy all the pieces individually. What this is the Bogen Manfrotto, what do they call that thing? Superclamp. This is the Superclamp right here. They sell the Superclamp, this brass threaded stud, and this head all together as one unit, and B&H have assigned that the stock number BO2910 if you're interested in picking this up as a complete kit, and it's about $55. And the reason why I bought this was primarily for sports photography. I figured if I was at a sporting venue and there was bleachers with handrails, things like that, I could clamp this onto a handrail or something and set up a remote camera. But the more I'm playing around with this thing, I realize this might actually in a lot of cases be a good general substitute for a tripod when you're traveling or something and you want to carry something small. As long as there's a place somewhere that you can clamp this onto, this can be used to support your camera. And the way this works is this here tightens up and loosens depending on the size of the object you're going around. It can be a square tube, a flat piece, a round tube. In this case we're going to put it on a round tube here, and I'll show you how this works. Now this clamp will go on anything from about a ½ inch thick all the way up to, I believe, just over 2 inches thick. So it'll cover most handrails and things like that. So we clamp this thing on there real good. And now that's set, imagining that that's a handrail on the bleachers or whatever. And then you can just take this and put your camera on top. Well, it's a little easier if I tilt this forward. There we go. And there we go. Line that up. Tighten it up. And bring the camera back. And as you see, you've got all of your axis of movement available, and it spins. Now imagine I'm at a sporting event and I'm behind the net at a basketball game or behind the net at a hockey game, somewhere where I don't really want to be myself, but I want a camera there. I can set this up there, and if I really want to get tricky, I can take my pocket wizard and throw that up on top, plug it into the remote port here on the side. I can turn on my camera, turn on the pocket wizard. My second pocket wizard can either be in my hand for manually activating this camera, or I can have it attached to my other camera. So every time I take a shot with the camera in my hand, this camera also takes a shot. And they can be up to 1,500 feet away from each other. So that's all there is to it. Camera's mounted. I'm away doing something else, and when I see a moment that I want to capture, I just capture it. Now again, that's my application for sports, but I think that this clamp situation here that we've come up with is probably, like I say, a pretty good solution for a lot of different situations where you might normally have a tripod, but you don't want to carry a tripod. Just throw this thing in your bag and you can clamp it on almost anywhere. And like I say, it doesn't have to be clamped onto something round. It can clamp onto square tubes or flat pieces. I believe I could probably, if I wanted to, you could clamp it onto an edge of a door. Let's just pretend this is a door. You could clamp it on there, and then you could spin this around and turn this up, put your camera on that way. There's all sorts of different ways you can do this. Any which way you want it. You can hang it upside down, put your camera pointing down at something. There's a whole variety. Just let your imagination run wild and clamp this sucker on, and away you go. Well, that's it for tonight. I just wanted to introduce you to the BO2910 Superclamp with 2025 head from B&H. And again, you can order the super clamp, the stud, and any head you want from just about any photo outfit. It just it's just convenient that B&H have put this together as a package. It doesn't come assembled like this, nothing to it. You just put this stud into there. It's a 1/4 20 thread, I think, and then the stud goes up into the bottom of the head, which is I think 5/16 thread. Thread it all together, and you're done. It's just 3 little pieces, goes together in a couple of minutes. I put a little Loctite on each one of these so that they don't come loose while I'm adjusting it and turning it and things like that. So there you go. That's it for tonight. Just a quickie little handy little thing you might want to consider getting if you're a sports shooter or do some any kind of remote triggering, or if you just want a an alternative to a tripod.